Hi everyone, let's talk about financial goals. What are they and how can you use it to make your money work hard for you? So check this video out. Hi everyone, this is Marvin. If you're new to this channel, subscribe, smash that bell so you get updated every time I create new content. So this part of the video is basically a response to a lot of the questions that you guys sent out and all of the comments that I got as well, asking me to create a video about how do you make your goals, how do you make your financial goals. So basically, and for those who are in corporate, you know that it's easy to segment your goals. So what I normally do also, and what you're doing also on corporate life or in your offices or in your businesses, is you segment it to short-term goals, mid-term goals, and long-term goals. But the only difference between investing, personal finance, as compared to how you do it in the corporate world is that's how also your investments, that's how also your cash will also flow. What do I mean by that? What I normally do is this. For short-term goals, these are goals that I normally want to hit within a year. So one thing that you need to remember for short-term goals is, since they're less than a year, those are goals that either you need the money for already. Meaning, let me give an example. If your child will go to school next year, what does that mean? You need the money for tuition fee for next year, regardless if it's college, high school, elementary, kindergarten. If you need the money for the tuition fee next year, it's a very, very short-term goal. So that means also I need to put in a lot of money to that goal because I need it already right away. So the biggest mistake of people is this. They try to, I have my salary, for example, someone has a salary of 100,000 pesos. If they have a salary of 100,000 pesos, they try to split everything based on the allocation, meaning this goes to food, this goes to transportation, this goes to savings, this goes to retirement, this goes to my plan for business, this goes to travel, and then everything else, it gets split. But the thing about that is this: you do not split it just based on the money that comes your way. You split it based on the goal. So if it's a short-term goal, you need to pile in more money for that particular goal. And when I say more money, again, it's proportional to what you're earning. It's also proportional to what is a short-term goal for you and what plans do you have also for the year. But whatever it is that's a short-term goal, you need to put in more money for that because you need it right away. That's one. And number two is this: in terms of risk, since I need the money, I'm not gonna put it in something that has a high level of risk. So I've been seeing a lot of people also send me these questions at Marvin, ano gagawin ko? I need the money. I need to park my money somewhere for at least 1 year. And then what's the best area where I can put it, where I can make a lot of money? Please remember the expectation, and this is always the narrative: low risk, low reward, high risk, high reward. Meaning, if it's a short-term goal, it should only be for items that are low risk, but not just items that are low risk. It should be also for items that would give you a low reward. So why am I saying this? For short-term goals, huwag nyo na asahan na malaki dapat yung kikitain nyo. I repeat, for short-term goals, huwag nyo na asahan na malaki dapat yung kikitain nyo, because the goal for this is, if you put in 1 million, you put in 100,000, you put in 500,000, the expectation is that amount should still be there intact. Whatever you get na extra or whatever you get na rate of it should just be extra. But your goal is so that you have the peace of mind that whatever happens, you'll be safe. And I've seen so many people that here's the thing: money, people make mistakes in terms of their investing, not because they're not educated sometimes, but basically because nauunahan din ng greed. Yung at the back of your head, you're thinking, sayang, if I put this here, yung isang taon na yung kikita rin to ng ganitong amount. But you have to remember, yung possibility na kumita yun ng ganong amount, there's also a possibility that if it does not go this way, you lose that amount of money. So very, very important. And the reason why also matapang ako sa ibang investments, please remember, I created videos about Bitcoin, and I've been saying I've been investing in cryptos, I've been investing in Bitcoin, which is very, very risky. However, those are not for goals for the short term. Those are goals for something that, even if it goes to zero, but not just zero, even if I don't touch it for a very, very long period of time, I'm supposed to be okay. And that should be your narrative for it. So it could be you're planning to get into a wedding next year, or you plan to send your kids to school, or you have a travel, which is on a very, very short perspective. Ganun lang siya. Anything that's for a short-term goal should be into something that's very, very low risk. So you can put it in IMAs, you can put it in savings accounts, high interest rate time deposits. You can put them also in any cash account. So for me, okay lang kahit hindi kayo kumita doon, okay lang na even if you don't earn as much there, kasi the goal of those short-term goals is not really for you to earn. The goal of that is when you need the money, it's there. Same is for emergency funds, same is for buffer funds, same for any other funds that you may need for the short term. Do not put it anymore on items that will give you that are high risk. Do not put them anymore on items that will give you volatility. But the goal is when you need the money, it's there. So short term goals, but in terms of cash flow, anytime you get money, pupuntahan nyo, lagyan nyo ng malaking amount yung mga short-term goals because you need it right away. Next, I mentioned about mid-term goals, but essentially, you can segment it this way. Mid-term goal is something that you could probably hit in 1, 2, 3 years. Then anything above that should be a long-term goal as well. Or some people would even say that above 5 years is a long-term goal. So here's the thing, and I think I've shared this on previous videos, but when I started out, my goal for investing in the stock market was supposed to be until 60 years old, was supposed to be for retirement, kasi yun lang din yung alam ko when I started out. I had this concept that at 60 years old, that's when you're supposed to retire. But if you've been watching my previous videos, please remember this, retirement is not a function of age. It's not a function of 60 na ako sa ako mag-retire. No, you can retire even if you are 20, as long as you have enough savings, you have enough investments, you have enough passive sources of income that will allow you to live. And please remember this, retirement is not you stopping your life. Retirement is you, that regardless of whatever you do, regardless if it's doing your passion, starting a charity, focusing on church, doing business, or following the things that you love the most, hindi na magiging hadlang yun because you already have other sources of income, meaning you have assets that are working hard for you. So, yun. When I started out, my goal was retirement, 60, but my goal also was I will invest in the stock market basically for retirement. That's it. That was my main goal. That was my main narrative. That was all I wanted. That was one of the reasons why I was so aggressive in it, because I was thinking, I started investing in the stock market in my early 20s, and I was thinking this, if the market crashes when I'm 35 years old, it doesn't matter. Why? Because I only need it when I'm 60. That's why a lot of people make mistakes in the market, because they put an amount of money that's not supposed to be there, and then it's in the stock market. The reason why I can be as aggressive, the reason why I can sleep well at night regardless of volatility, the market could crash tomorrow, and I should be okay. Why? The amount that's there is not something for my short-term goals. The amount that's there is not something that I would need tomorrow. So please remember this. It does not mean I don't trade. It just means that whatever money is in the market, the goal of it is not to give me cash flow. The goal of it is to give me growth. The goal of it is to make my portfolio bigger. So it can be starting a business, it can be buying a car, a house, or whatever dreams you have for the long term. But long-term goals, basically, don't be scared to put as much risk as you can, because that's the main intention for long-term goals. You can also put smaller amounts of money, but because you are doing it over a long period of time, that amount that you're putting on a regular basis will also get bigger. Never despise small beginnings. Never despise the ability to put small amounts and let time make it grow for you. Please remember this, and I've created so many videos about this. The greatest arbitrage is time. The greatest way for you to make your money grow is time. Small amounts with a lot of risk will make it grow. Hindi ito napapansin ng mga tao. They always want the one-time big time. They always want the jackpot. And I keep saying this to people. Kung habol mo jackpot, guess what? That's all you get, a jackpot. And a jackpot only happens once. The name of the game for you to be able to win is not to look for jackpots. The name of the game for you to be able to win is small and steady plodding, planting it, so that later on whatever you plant will start to get big. And as you start planting it, that's why I keep harping this over and over. Why? Because if you start putting in little by little, the skill will also be there, the experience will also be there. And if you have the skill and you have the experience, guess what? That becomes a deadly combination when your money gets bigger. But guess what also? If you're 20 years old, you do this straight up until you're 40, lalaki yung pere. And I'm saying this not because I've read this on a book, but I'm saying this because it actually works. Looking at long-term goals and attaching risk to them and putting as much as you can to them really works. But the biggest problem is, for a lot of people, for long-term goals, they don't allocate. For long-term goals, they don't take as much risk. So my suggestion for money that you don't plan to touch for a very, very long period of time, take as much risk as you can. And here's the thing, people would say that it's risky. Guess what? It's not risky. Why is it not risky? It's not risky for the very reason because you have cash for your short-term goals that will protect you. And that's how you can segment it. It's not risky anymore to invest in Bitcoin. It's not risky anymore to do Forex. It's not risky anymore to do other things if halo-halo yung pera mo, hindi lahat nandun sa isang basket lahat. People call it diversification, but me, I don't call it diversification. I just call it financial planning based allotment, that you allot your money based on your goals from financial planning. Short-term goals, short-term needs, low risk. Long-term goals, long-term needs, low risk. Short-term goals, put more money. Long-term goals, put smaller amounts of money but take as much risk as you can. So for those who ask and send questions with regards to creating goals, that's how I do it. It's basic. I just have an Excel sheet and then nakasulat lahat doon. So every year, I try to update it. Every year, I try to fulfill it also because please remember this, my goals 8 years ago is different from my goals today. It's also different from what my goals were 5 years ago. So it's something that you update, especially kung natamaan mo na yung goals mo na yun, especially if you're done with it, especially if there's new goals also. Please remember, your dreams, your goals, the things that you also want in life would also evolve as either you age or as things also would progress, or things I don't know, we just have, I guess, a different set of interests also as we age and as time goes by. So I guess that's it. I hope this answered some of your questions, and this is not just basically stock market related, but this is also finance related, this is investing related. But I hope this is something that gave you natinik ako dun, but I hope this is something that gave you enough insights, because at the end of the day, all I want is for you guys to win. All I want is for you guys to reach your goals of financial freedom. So I'm going to Singapore in the next few days. I think my flight is on Tuesday. I'm going to Singapore in the next few days, so I hope to see you guys there. 3 events again. In Tuesdays, Stock Smarts Singapore. Then November 23, Stock Smarts Manila. Then November 30, Davao. If you're from the area, I hope to see you. If you have friends that are there also, I hope to see them as well. And the reason why videos, books, and seminars like this are created is because, one thing, we need to educate more and more Filipinos on investing. We need to make financial planning, we need to make financial literacy very, very important, very, very significant, so that more and more people will take advantage of what's happening in our economy. So I guess that's it for now. Nahingal ako doon, but I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. Please subscribe, guys. See you all again soon.